everyone, and welcome to another episode of Study of X, the X-Men podcast where we chronologically go through the Krakoa era of X-Men. I am your host, Tim, and with me as always is Chris and Sergio.
Hey, fate was conspiring so that we couldn't record this episode, and I'm on the third computer I've tried. This is happening. We're recording.
Yep, this is this is our backup day after our first day fell through.
I am of the belief it is Orcus's fault that are trying to stop us. This is anti-mutant propaganda.
They want us to be silent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they won't let us continue our read of X-Force.
I know. It's very rude. So yeah, this week we're covering New Mutants issue number 3, X-Force issue number 3, and Fallen Angels issue number 3. Got a bit of a new storyline here in New Mutants. Pretty big, divergent plotline here.
And with a new author this time, instead of Jonathan Hickman. So, if you guys are ready, I can jump in.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so for New Mutants number 3, To the Grave, this time it is written by Ed Bryson. It is released originally back in December of 2019. And we are opening up somewhere different, like we said. Instead of being in Shi'ar space trying to see what our friends are doing, we're back on Krakoa, as we see Armor and Blob currently picking some fruits as Armor is... Oh, what was that?
You put some respect in Glob's name. That is not Blob.
Sorry, I keep doing this. I've done this for years. I keep calling him Blob, and I don't know why. His name is Glob, and he's wonderful.
There is a Blob on Krakoa. It's just not him.
Yes, so I need to get that straight. I'm gonna keep doing it, which is the problem.
I feel like we've seen this guy like off to the side in a couple of panels before.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad he's here. I love this design.
Yeah, he's very striking. To anybody who's not reading with us and is just listening, Glob is a human whose skin and muscles and everything, except for his skeleton and his eyes, are kind of pink goo.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Transparent goo, to be clear.
Yeah, transparent goo. So you can see his skeleton, his intestines.
Yeah, which is interesting because that skeleton doesn't seem to be holding up any muscle.
Yeah, he's just Glob.
Yep.
Well.
But he's having a good time picking plants here with Armor, reminiscing about how wonderful Krakoa is. And I did actually want to point out right at the start here, Armor, her whole dialogue here is about how when she found out she was a mutant, she figured that her life was over. She was always going to have to be hiding from someone. And now it's no big surprise that mutants have very often been stand-ins for social minorities throughout pretty much their entire run, I believe. And this one in particular very much hits home. There was something I myself, as a queer woman, have really kind of aligned with when it comes to the mutants, especially in the Krakoa era, where it's, you find out you're a mutant and you feel like your life is over. People are always going to be hating you, wanting to kill you, and you're going to have to hide that part of yourself even though you were born with it. So seeing that pretty much right in your face here, and to see how happy everybody is and how much of a great time everybody is that they can finally be themselves, it's wonderful. I absolutely adore it.
Yeah, they get to be themselves at the never-ending party that shows up in every issue.
Yeah, that's still going on. They're still dancing.
Yep, everybody
is still... It would be funny if we saw, like, the Fallen Angels characters, like, off to the side.
Just sulking and everything.
Just the bonfire, yeah.
That would actually be funny.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's our introduction here. Glob gets to dance with Pixie.
And Armor is, while she is happy, she's a bit sad that there are other mutants who aren't here yet, and experiencing this wonderful paradise that they now have.
Yeah, that's our plot hook here.
That's all we need. As Armor instead gets a list of mutants and heads over to Sage in her computer plant room, which is really cool, and basically starts looking up logs to see what mutants have come through the gate and what mutants have not. And she very quickly finds a name that she knows, and we find out that Beak has not been through the gate yet.
Are they
She's looking through like the mutant yellow pages. This
yeah,
is really
this is
funny.
I agree. I was like, why do they have this on like paper?
Yeah. Do they have a printed version of Cerebro just hanging around like a million volumes in a
Yeah.
big library?
Yeah,
I'm-
it's just a bunch of books on the ground and it's like what is this?
I'm wondering because they reference later, Armor references later that she was looking through the school's website. I'm wondering if these are like yearbooks for Xavier's school, and that's what she's going through.
Yeah, I actually had the same thought. I was like, I wonder if these are like old like Xavier school like yearbooks or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Just scan those, guys. You have a plant computer.
Right? It should be easier than to hand them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it does also bring out a little bit of what I like about this story, where it's not a full team. It's not the Marauders going out to save mutants captured by Russians or something. It's a friend looking to find other friends and bring them back here.
Yeah. Both a party and then with this yearbook thing, it kind of gives a college feel to the year.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Especially in this next scene, as Armor is still pretty much looking up where Beak was, where he lived, and Glob is currently busy wondering if he should ask Pixie out, but he's a little embarrassed about it.
Yeah. Glob is more interested in dating here. I also really appreciate Sage just really not being into this storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Just very much wants Armor to leave. Anyway, so Armor goes to go track down Sunspot and ends up finding Boom Boom. Sunspot's room is hilarious.
Yes, there are 2 full pictures of him framed on his wall, which is lovely.
I appreciate the golf clubs.
That too. I wonder if he actually golfs or not.
But yeah, I feel like Boom Boom here is a pretty interesting addition because, yeah, that is a character you would think would maybe get an invite on this New Mutants mission over whoever Mondo is.
Yeah, so this was my first introduction to Boom Boom, and it's not a long one because she's basically here. We meet her, and she's sent off to go do something, and she disappears. But I do get that sense of like, because she even mentions it. Hey, it's kind of rude they didn't invite me to space, don't you think? Oh well, at least I'm here to do this other thing.
Yeah, I would agree. Hold on one.
I think it's funny how there's a bunch of like dispensers around the room. I don't know if you noticed, but there's on the side of the table like a bunch of like what seems to be like a water dispenser, and right next to it is some sort of other sort of dispenser, and then the next page there's also a bunch of dispensers, and I wonder if these are like the goo dispensers that we got, man.
I was just about to bring up maybe it is the goo dispensers. Because they do have a lot of, fruits and vegetables around. But a startling lack of goo at the moment.
Yeah.
But
We also get a new data page.
Yeah. Go over to this one. Yeah. We do get another data page here. We go into a very bad version of dementia here. It's something called Taylor Ellis disease. Did anyone look this up? I'm curious if this is real.
I did. It seems to not be real.
Okay.
I tried looking it up a couple of ways, and the only thing that comes up is this comic book. So this is a fantasy, hyper bad version of dementia, which dementia is already an awful, awful disease. But this one takes away your ability to do everything, but a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. This kind of accelerated dementia with like a 6-month approximately timeline towards death.
Yeah, it seems very bad. Like it's pretty much just an absolute death sentence. It's a mortality rate of a within a year of a diagnosis is 100%. So yeah, you get this, you just kind of die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's very rare, which it highlights that not a lot of people get this. But, I wonder why they bring that up so suddenly in this random story where we're about to go on an adventure. I don't know if it's related or not, but we'll see.
Anyway, so our next scene, we get 2 new characters here. These kids were actually from a run before this where they were kind of little shits, but they ended up getting adopted by Xavier's school near the end of the storyline. So yeah, one of them, I believe, controls emotions. Also, this is Maxine and Manon, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And it
Yeah,
does. It looks
we
like
get a line of dialogue here where, like, we get no messing with our friends' emotions or memories, which does point to some dire power sets.
Yeah, it's
I don't want to be associated with.
yeah, these the character designs for these kids are like creepy twins.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. They are like, hey, please don't do a bad. You can come, but don't do anything bad. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would bring them, but they seem excited about it.
Although
They
I do
sure
really
do.
like the tiny glob right beneath that panel, where he's just wide-eyed, kind of staring at the kids like, do we want them to come?
Yeah. But anyway, we have now gone to Nebraska.
And having never been to Nebraska, I'm sure this looks like Nebraska.
I believe it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just corn farm.
A mutant that looks like a Birdman with a full beak on his face, which his name is very apt.
Yeah. So we get Beacon Angel here, as well as their plethora of children. They have so many kids.
They sure do.
Yeah, I want to say they at least have 6.
There are 6 in the first panel, but there's quite a few.
Yeah.
And if not all of them, most of them do seem to be mutants. Some of them have the same bird-like beak as Beak does. Some of them have wings. They can fly. So it's a whole family of mutants.
Spending their days on a farm.
Yeah.
In
the middle
Nebraska.
of nowhere, presumably.
So yeah, we end up after some light fun, we go to Papa Beak, who is not looking good.
Yep, and we immediately learn that data page from earlier is describing his illness that he has. And we have Beak telling us this, and that he really did want to go to Krakoa after Xavier's message, but that he needs to be here for his family and can't quite leave his mother and his father just hanging like that.
Yeah. Luckily, we've had a very
Very good drug breakthrough.
Yes, lucky for
from
them.
like page 1 of this whole series.
Yeah.
Was, hey, new super drugs.
So yeah, they load this man up with Krakoa goo, and he is right as rain. Not quite right as rain, but a lot better than he was a couple seconds ago.
Yeah, he is no longer comatose and seems to be remembering everybody, which is a lot better.
It's I feel like it's very interesting to kind of see this on the ground floor of like what those drugs are going to do for someone like on an individual level. Because they just kind of strolled in and casually saved this dude's life.
Yeah, I found that interesting as well. So far leading up to this, because we're already 20 pages into this comic, it's very, not quite slice of life, but it's more laid back. You know, you're seeing friends connect after a really long time. You're seeing them catch up and see how folks are doing. And then, yeah, you actually see how this drug works and saves a human life at the very least. And it's really nice to see. Instead of just being told, like, hey, this drug is really good, we get to see firsthand how this actually can change someone's entire life and those of the lives around them.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen very little of the actual like material impact these miracle drugs and the rest of the flower effects like impacted on the world.
Yeah, just so yeah, to kind of see it in effect here, I think it is very effective to just show like just how life-changing these things can be. Because you hear that medical breakthrough in issue 1, and it's just like, oh, that sounds very good, but then it doesn't really follow that up with much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, until now, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm really curious to see how this plays out reading it again, because when this issue came out in December of 2019, this is when COVID-19 is first starting to move through China, and in a couple of months, you know, most of the world is gonna shut down from the pandemic that just begins. So you have this comic coming out where, hey, this man's life was miraculously saved by a brand new drug right before a global pandemic kicks off. Obviously, you know, nobody can predict that or plan it, but it was very interesting timing. And it'll be interesting to see again now with hindsight how this is going to shape the future story of at least this point of the Krakoan political game.
Yeah, I think that's a very good observation. I was about to say that I'm kind of more interested on the like big picture stuff. When you introduce a miracle drug and then an immortality drug or whatever those were, I would expect a very big shakeup in terms of like world finance and geopolitics and stuff. And we've seen relatively little of that, of how, again, like it has materially affected the world and governments. And so yeah, I think the personal side of things is like expected.
Right.
It's something that emotional content can be easily milked out of.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
But I would definitely like to see like the bigger picture stuff.
And I would agree with that too.
Mhm.
Just because, yeah, like that would affect the world quite a bit if you were doing something like that. Like you probably just put a bunch of pharmaceutical companies out of business among
Yeah,
a
among
lot of
other
other
things.
things. Yeah.
Which I feel like Marauders is at least discussing, but it's not currently showing what that actually looks like. So we'll
Right.
have to see if that goes anywhere.
Yeah, I wonder how the like drugs trickle down to actual people. Are they like is their distribution handled by governments, or is it like handled through pharmaceutical companies, or do people just get them somehow
Yeah.
bypassing those methods? Who knows?
And like I feel like they're how it comes across when they talk about the drugs is the Krakoa is going to give that to the countries. So I would assume it's governments, but yeah, I'm honestly not really sure.
I would also assume it's governments, but I would not be surprised if governments just also through deals hand it over to pharmaceutical companies to make money. That is, how it works in the world. So it wouldn't surprise me if this was the same thing here.
Yeah. I guess we will see. But first, we get a data page about the Academos habitat.
Mm-hmm.
The sextant.
The sextant. We get that word back. It was the title of New Mutants #1, and we couldn't figure out what it meant. It seems to, again, just be the nickname of the collection of biomes that homes the younger generation of mutants.
I still don't get the name.
This
didn't make it any clear.
That's true. It doesn't really. It just kind of gives it more context and fleshes it out at least a little bit.
There's 6 houses.
Oh yeah, I guess there is. I counted 8, but now I'm like looking at it again. I'm like, oh yeah, one is the Five's place, another place is a communal place.
Yeah, there are 6 houses named after Greek letters.
Right. Yeah.
Delta. And they all represent like different schools within the campus.
Yeah.
Which are, like,
I don't think they're
like corresponding to like X-Men groups, I believe.
Right. Yeah. So Generation X, I think that's where Chamber and Mondo come from. I actually know nothing about like the new X-Men and the Jean Grey school. The Frost Academy is Emma Frost's school. That was like the evil X-Men during like the New Mutants run. And yeah,
I would imagine nowadays it's where you go to get your MBA or something.
Yeah.
Probably.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's just where they all live.
I wonder if they have like Greek culture there with the like Sigma House. Like these just kind of sound like frats.
They probably are, if I had to guess, because this is supposed to be the younger mutants, so I would expect high school, early college. And it's, it's specifically in its description is saying that this is foregoing formal classroom studies and student-teacher relationships. So everybody is a student and everybody is a teacher. So it's kind of a new way to look at learning. So having everybody together like that.
Yeah, and I do think that's kind of interesting. I like that the idea that they're using this as like a alternative kind of teaching style.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that it holds itself back by still like tying so much into the like archetypes of movie schools.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do appreciate the effort to this. Also, I think the new X-Men and New Mutants sharing part of their names is funny. Someone should probably...
Yeah, I don't know about the new X-Men.
Yeah, I would imagine they've had arguments about that same exact thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, easy to confuse.
it is. Like, what's the difference between? These are all just like various factions of like Xavier's school, except for Emma Frost's, which I think is kind of funny. But anyway, back on the literal ranch.
Yep, we are back in Nebraska with Beak, his wife, and their kids. Everybody catching up just around the dinner table, having some coffee.
Nope. Very, very specifically, no kids.
Oh, right. Very specifically, no kids. That was my mistake. Yeah, no, specifically no kids, because that is going to be important. So they're all talking, catching up, when Beak asks if, anybody is outside with the kids, or if Armor maybe brought anybody extra with them, because it seems that there are people outside with the kids.
Uh-huh.
And
they don't look very friendly.
No, they do not. This man has some wild tattoos, and they are pointing guns at the children.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Multiple guns, actually. At least 2 of them. One person is blowing a bubble with bubblegum, but has 2 kids in a headlock.
Yeah.
And Angel is rightfully upset, accusing Armor of bringing these people here. But Armor, Glob, and the other 2 twins go out to meet with these people.
I'm not sure what the implication is about Angel here. Why does she think they brought them with them?
I would say, if I had to guess, it's because usually wherever X-Men go, problems follow.
Yeah,
is that what she's saying? She's not like implying they actually wanted to attack their kids.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just, hey, we were having a nice quiet life, but then you showed up and trouble came with you.
Yeah, I guess they did just cure their dad.
Yeah, that's true. And, they're not exactly inconspicuous, especially with Glob. So if anybody's looking for mutants, they're very easy to follow.
Yeah, I wonder how they got here, because they kind of appeared right next to the house. So who knows where they would have fallen. But yeah, okay. I guess she's also just like panicking because
that
her
too.
kids are in trouble.
If I had a kid and I saw people pointing guns at their heads, I would also not exactly be rational at that moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess no too.
Sure.
Speaking of irrational, I don't know if Armor chooses the best way to handle this hostage crisis.
Probably not, but it does seem to be the superhero response, which is, I'm gonna go punch the guy.
Yeah, like, they got guns on the kids, Armor. Maybe don't armor up right now. But yeah, so, doesn't really matter, though. She runs into a missile.
She summons an ethereal armor around her.
Yes.
It's really cool. I kind of dig it.
It's kind of mech-sized.
Yeah.
Because she looks like really small inside of the armor's chest.
This is just a mecha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But something important to note here is that the leader of this group is specifically trying to negotiate with the mutants because, quote, your kind has refused our people access to important medicines. So again, this is tying back to the medicine. And they are now going to seemingly use these kids as bargaining chips to try and get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the last line of this issue.
Oh, the Marvel movie joke. We had to get that in there.
You had a real kind of serious situation going on, and then you have this little kid chiming in with, I guess this is why they always send Wolverine first.
Womp womp.
Yeah, it's whatever. I do like this issue for the most part, but yeah, I don't know. Not a fan of that.
Yeah, we scoped over the fact that she gets hit with the anti-mutant missile, which dampens her powers.
Yeah.
Yes, that, I guess that's just a thing. We saw it with the grannies the last issues.
Yeah.
With their goo guns, but this time it is a missile with no goo.
Uh-huh. Lots of depowering weapon going on.
Yeah. Very curious about that. They do seem to just all kinds, because they're a big manufacturing.
I would assume there is, considering this is a world of heroes. I feel like that would be a weapons manufacturing sector by itself.
Yeah, I do wonder what happens if Club gets hit by one of these.
I don't know.
Does he just become?
I don't know, but I'm not sure I want to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he would either melt or he would look like a real person. Well, I shouldn't say real person. That's really mean to Glob. I'm sorry, Glob. I meant more like a normal human. There we go.
It's okay. We get.
Yeah.
He becomes an actual person that's not in a comic.
Well, this one's kind of short. A lot of the stuff that we kind of not exactly skipped over, but brushed over. It's a lot of friends talking with each other, people catching up. I liked him. I really enjoyed this issue. I like how more grounded it is. I also really like seeing how we can finally see what the drugs look like. And also, it seems to be some sort of a repercussion from the drugs and access to the drugs, since we now have these people threatening to murder kids to be able to get it.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice issue. Very like introductory because this is basically an issue number 1.
Yeah, it's an issue number 1 without the length. So yeah, it did feel like it was a lot of going through the setup and here's our cast. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which, despite all of that, I felt like it worked pretty well. But it definitely was some more setup, some more of that, since we're getting on a brand new storyline.
But
we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of dark, do we want to go into X-Force?
Now's a good time as any. So, with X-Force number 3, The Skeleton Key, it is still written by Benjamin Percy, released also in December of 2019. We're opening with a pretty much immediate tone shift as we are seeing the past where Domino is being flayed alive by the man with the peacock tattoo.
Yeah, I don't. It is very dark. I don't love this scene. It feels almost kind of torture porny.
Yes, I would agree with that. It's kind of excessive. It's all for the point of the villain here saying that Domino is the skeleton key that will allow them to get into Krakoa, but you didn't have to show her skin getting cut off to make that point.
Yeah, we kind of already knew what had happened, so by the end of the previous issue's reveal, where we get her like in a tube, all gory looking, didn't really need more detail on that.
No, but it does it does set a proper tone for the rest of the issue, because it's going to be roughly the same there. And as we keep going, we are back in the Meatman printing facility, and Wolverine cracks a joke that the Krakoan commandment "Murder No Man" didn't apply to lab-built hamburgers. Which, one, great joke. Two, I find it interesting he used the term commandment here instead of law. I feel like that's very intentional to paint it more religious than anything else.
Interesting. Hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So, but we have, again, Kid Omega with his extremism takes, and he says that Professor X has always been too kind, and that the Murder No Man law is going to be their downfall. If they can't murder man, then they're never going to get anywhere.
Yes, Wolverine still says he doesn't know what he's talking about. Wolverine has a thing about how humans and mutants are both capable of the same thing. I don't know if it's kind of a weird point to bring up looking at Domino, but fair.
Yeah,
I would assume there was an exception for like enemy combatants.
Yeah, I think so too. Magneto, I think, referred to war not really being the same thing. So yeah, I don't know. They're probably justified here.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that by the like original definition of the law, they're okay. They're in the right, even if these were not like hamburgers and instead were actual cultists or what have you.
And as we say this, somewhere Sabretooth is extremely upset. Still somewhere in a pit because he broke the retroactive law placed on him. But to Tim's point about how I think this is a good point from Wolverine that, yeah, mutants and humans are more similar. They both have good and they both have, the worst in them. But it is a awkward time to make that point because, Domino doesn't have an eye. Most of her face is gone. she's not doing well. I feel like this is not the time to say, hey, humans can be good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kid Omega is kind of, I hate to say it, but he's kind of right in terms of like the ideology that's being pushed from the X-Men and Magneto and Professor X in particular.
All right, you heard it here first. Kid Omega was right.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I see what Sergio's saying because, like, in terms of like the philosophy, I do think Kid Omega is correct more than Wolverine is in terms of like what they're going for.
Yeah, in terms of what's like being codified by the council, everything that he's been saying is correct. And as far as Magneto is concerned, like we were just talking about this on the previous issue, a couple of episodes back, about how Magneto is calling the X-Men or the mutants gods, and Wolverine doesn't like that phrase, but that's the phrasing that everyone got in like a psychic transmission sent throughout the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not actually sure if he's got a leg to stand on here, because he does allow for like some concessions to be made in the ideology and like the laws that have been codified by the council, but there is no guarantee that anyone's also making those same concessions. Everything that's being written and set into stone and like sent in official messaging from the mutants aligns with what Kid Omega is saying.
Yeah, just it. Yeah, and I do kind of agree. It almost does feel like the murder no man law is more of a stopgap than anything. Just like let's put this thing on there so we don't go just completely up our ass.
Yeah.
Even then, it that law came about because they were trying to be philosophical about it. I don't know if I would say it was a stopgap. It was more, hey, we are trying to build a better world here, and killing somebody who can't be resurrected is not okay. It wasn't, killing humans is wrong. It's that they cannot be resurrected was the bad part of that.
I mean, yeah, but we've already got laws like that, and they don't work so much, and they're like manipulated in order to like serve political purposes, and we've already seen that in the council with Sabretooth.
Yeah.
So yeah,
as I was saying that, I was starting to think of, okay, maybe they did have the best of intentions making it, but a law that has good intentions behind it doesn't always mean it's implemented the same way. It can easily be twisted and turned as is needed, not necessary.
Right.
Yeah, and I think Kid Omega here is basically saying we should be going mask off instead of like just trying to do the liberal, naive thing of setting lofty ideals for ourselves that we're going to be hypocritical about.
Yeah. But we are now being attacked by a giant mutant muscle man.
Yes.
They sure are.
Yes. Talking about all this philosophy aside, we're still in a comic book. This is a giant meat titan, and they need to run for it now.
They did save Domino and are running away with her in Wolverine's arms.
Yeah.
So mission kind of accomplished.
Well, jury's still out, but we're back on Krakoa.
Yep, we are back on Krakoa as Jean and Beast take the Cerebro helmet to hopefully reawaken Xavier. And Jean has a moment here with Beast as Beast asks, will mutants become reckless? Shouldn't we have a healthy fear of death if we're to be a more moral people?
Yeah, and Jean has a little bit of an interesting response here. Kind of has a interesting story about playing in a graveyard when she was a kid. But also I feel like the kind of more interesting point here is that she's just like, I've died a lot and keep coming back, and I think it's made me a better hero. And the fact that if you take away the fear of death, you start caring about others more than yourself. Which I feel like a weirdly optimistic take for Benjamin Percy's X-Force here.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree totally with the sentiment, but I can see what they're going for. Like, you kind of get to thinking more long term, and then the collective good becomes more of a priority.
Yeah, because if you aren't concerned about dying, then it's much less what can I do for myself, and what can you can kind of start. There's more room to think about the other. I'm guessing is what they're
Yeah,
going for.
I can kind of see what they're going for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can see it as well. I'm kind of with Sergio. I don't know if I would agree with it. This has always been not quite a trope in fantasy with long living civilizations to see what happens if they. But I almost feel like the opposite would be true. If you take away death, it becomes more individualistic. Whereas if you have death, then you have to think about another person. Are they going to be alive? Are they not going to be alive? And this being flipped as the opposite, I find really interesting. But it's where that point where I'm not sure.
Yeah. And I mean, like again, it's a fantasy. We don't really have that in actual life, so it's hard to say like what people exactly would like react to it. But yeah, this is a very different direction than I feel like this kind of plot point will usually lead to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and an interesting one to see where it goes because she has a point that, well, Beast also has a point here that, yeah, they don't have death anymore, so how is this going to affect them as a society? Because, sure, you have this on the individual level, but now you are having a large group of people who no longer have to fear death. How are they going to take that? What are they going to do in response? Are they actually going to come together, like Jean says? Or are they going to fall apart, like Beast is insinuating?
Right. But yeah, we get the kind of conclusion to this, and it's Jean managed to bring back Xavier.
Yeah, he's just in a pod hanging around or like sleeping, I guess, in some cryostasis.
Mm-hmm. They grew him a new body. She downloaded his brain into the body, and now he's alive. I will say, hatching from the egg looks awful. It looks like a not fun experience.
Yeah, would agree. Looks kind of gross, but we're back with the meat titan.
We sure are.
Mm-hmm. And
Which
they're
gets resolved kind of easily.
yeah, which is kind of nice. Honestly, I'm fine with it being taken down. Essentially, Domino has a power dampener on it, which is what's stopping Kid Omega's powers. So the second Wolverine takes it off, Kid Omega gets his powers back, and he blows that Titan up like it's nothing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just psychic rocket launcher. It's gone.
We get part of the Titan's jaw, like flying away from its face.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the Healing Gardens with the assassin we caught a couple of issues ago.
Mm-hmm. The only assassin still left, quote unquote, alive.
So Healer and Sage are here. They leave for a little bit. Some Shadow Man comes and kills them.
Yeah, which it's not clear who. At the very least, it's not Beast because this is not a blue arm over the guy's face. But Sergio, any ideas, guesses who might do this, or just not sure?
Oh, I didn't even consider that I could maybe guess at what or who could be. I have no idea.
I mean, that's fair. We're gonna find out eventually, I'm sure. But for now, it's still a shadowy mystery who killed the last assassin that they really could have used for intel.
Mm-hmm.
But we do get a data page on this fifth assassin. It's kind of written off that he was in critical condition anyway, so nobody actually killed him. So whoever killed the assassin got away with it. Unfortunately, Healer died in the process because they found out that the bodies of the assassins are laced with explosives. So once they die, there's a timer of some kind, and after a while, their body just blows up.
Should have seen this one coming, to be honest.
Yeah, like
Same.
yeah. This is one of those things that really feels like it could have been a scene and not a data page, but also I don't mind this not being a scene.
Yeah. So far, bad score on data pages for set of issues.
Yeah.
I guess the Sextant one was okay.
Yeah, the Sextant one was okay, but yeah, other than that, I don't know if I don't know if that score is going to improve. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I don't know if that one will improve, but definitely a step down from the Marauders one that we got last time, which was a perfect transition.
Yep.
So we're getting something a little different here. We are in Washington Square Park, where there are a bunch of reporters by the gate trying to ask how Xavier's doing, because the rumors are saying that Xavier is dead.
Yeah. Not so much rumors. I feel like the news spread very quickly from what we saw on other runs. Like the Marauders were notified while they were, I think it was somewhere in Asia. Was it Tokyo or something like that?
Ooh.
Where were they?
And then we got a couple of other hints from other X-Men group,
I think
realizing that
Xavier was gone.
Xavier had been assassinated. So by this point, I guess those would be news. It wouldn't be so much of rumors, which is why I'm kind of mad at these couple of pages. Like, yeah, if they wanted to keep it on the low, like the down low, they probably shouldn't have broadcasted the news to every mutant like they did.
Yeah, it's gonna end up with a lot of people figuring out.
I agree, but I don't think they actually broadcasted it, because at least in the Marauders case, Kate is part of the Hellfire Trading Company, so she's kind of high up. She would have to know that. Same with, members of the X-Men and all of that. Of course they would know what's going on. I have a feeling if, maybe the New Mutants, because, Armor just kind of leaves to go to Nebraska and nobody really stops her. So I'm sure people on the island know, and people who should be in the know probably got the heads up. But I don't think this is something that they sent out to every.
I think they did a bad job containing the news if they wanted to.
That I would agree on, because nothing is going to stop the people after Magneto gives this huge speech while crafting a sword over Xavier's dead body. I'm sure that image is probably up somewhere on the fake Reddit that we saw in Excalibur.
Yeah.
So, but Black Tom here is really upset about these reporters trying to figure out what's going on, because he feels bad about failing security and letting Charles Xavier die. So he's trying to convince Magneto to do something about it.
Yeah, but we don't really have to do that. Magneto comes out to talk, and here's Xavier.
Yep, good as new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they asked him if he's a shapeshifter. He says doesn't really matter. I'm alive, and that's yep. We get a data page about the Cerebro sword.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to go back a bit. I think the reporter's question, which is, how do we know it's really you? They go to the shapeshifter angle. What if this is a lie, an illusion? I do think there's, again, a actual question here of this is a new body, this is a new everything. The only thing that is the same is his mind. Is it the same Xavier? Is it not? There's more of a philosophical question there. It's not touched here, and so far we have not seen it actually touched on. I'm really hoping they do at some point, because I really feel like you could dig into the nature of what makes a person a person.
See, I feel like that question was less touching upon that and just almost like that's just a general commentary on the universe. Like, maybe you're a shapeshifter, what if you're an illusion? Like, yeah, scrolls exist here. We've had people come back from the dead before. So it's like you can ask these questions and like maybe, but also maybe I'm just alive.
Yeah, I feel like what Xavier here is saying is like, look around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. It wasn't how I read it, but I could definitely see it that way too.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah. And I feel this series in general is very disinterested in like the question of identity. Like they have it figured out. They basically built a perfect system for a perfect recreation of persons with their original bodies and their original minds, completely replicated through digital data. This feels like a solved question in universe to me.
Yeah. Like, it's something I think that would definitely be explored in like a different series or something. But yeah, here it's like, no, that's me.
That's me, no question.
Yeah.
Like, I think if we ever get like an imperfect replication, or if we get like two people being simultaneously, like someone who got wrongly marked as for revival and then they find out they were alive all along, so there's two of them running around, would be like grounds for that sort of
Mm-hmm.
theme.
Yeah, that would be the
But here it
perfect.
doesn't seem great.
Yeah, that would be the perfect spot for that kind of a story.
So, yeah, the was it Magneto who referenced the sword of I'm blanking on the name.
Ooh, Sword of Damocles.
Yeah.
I believe that might have been Magneto or it was Beast.
Like did Xavier come back and they were like, "Hey, I was thinking about the sword of Damocles," or did Xavier just think of this separately?
I believe he thought of it separately. I believe that conversation where we first get that name drop wasn't with Xavier. It was while he was being assassinated.
Yeah, that's what I think too. So that like I don't know. This whole thing is really silly. How he gets the sword and then puts it above his head.
To remind himself that a man at war cannot be a man at peace. Very silly.
Yeah.
I think it works. I'm cool with it. Sure, take the sword, have it be a reminder of your mortality that you no longer kind of have. But everything is on a razor's edge. I do want to note here that our mutants are talking about themselves as gods. Conversation that we keep having is also being reinforced because when Xavier was brought back and walking amongst his people, some of them bowed or knelt on one knee in front of him when they saw that he was alive. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So we get our next page, which is Kid Omega giving Domino some psychic juice. He apparently is a very good psychic and can take away her pain and make it so some of her limbs are usable again, but can't really fix her memory, which is apparently kind of a mess.
Gives her kind of like psychic flesh.
Mm-hmm. Or like psychic armor, at least over the meat parts.
Yeah.
So it's a cool look. You know, we unfortunately can't really get any information on the man with the peacock tattoo, which is the only thing she remembers.
Yeah, we kind of get a retread of what we got last issue. There being like ties to anti-mutant politicians and her following the money and then eventually being ambushed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not a lot of new information here.
Right. They try to go back into the place and it blows up. These people really seem to like bombs.
Yes. And you know what? Fair. I wouldn't want my meat factory to be found either. I would rather blow it up.
But yep, that's the end of our adventures in the meat factory, and we are now on to the point where Xavier is starting the CIA.
Yes. Yep. I was gonna make that same joke here. Essentially, yes, Xavier has called together a group of people with Magneto. It is Wolverine, Kid Omega, Domino, Beast, Jean Grey, and Sage, because these were the only people that decided to try and do something about all of this, about when the assassins showed up and everything else. So, they decide... Oh, go ahead.
Before we get too into it, quick shouts to Domino's new plant arm and plant leg.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, just kind of chilling off to the side. No explanation where she got it or how, but hey, it's cool.
Probably Krakoa.
Probably
Krakoa.
Yeah. This is true. This is true. But... Yeah, saying that this is the mutant CIA feels really apt because Xavier is talking about how whoever was doing this operation from the shadows, they need to respond in kind and have their own shadow operation with plausible deniability.
Yeah, 15 or so pages ago, Kid Omega was like, we should go mask off, and here's Xavier going, hey, I'm building a mask off group.
Hey, do you want to be part of my mask off club?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We'll just disavow you if you get caught. Go kill some people.
Yep.
Yeah, but also trying to make it seem like a good thing, because he closes here with the left hand turns a page, the right hand makes a fist. That feels right to me. That feels like a force of good. So he's still trying to build this as, hey, this is a good thing we're doing here. A necessary good, not a necessary evil.
Yeah, I mean, this is still extremely hypocritical, especially how they are hiding it from the council. I'm not even sure why they need to hide this from the council. Who in the council would be against doing something like this. It's not like the council is this like pure group of pacifists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
'cause-
you literally have Jean Grey here. I don't know who's objecting.
Yeah,
yeah.
why is this being hidden from who?
Yeah, I would say the one person I feel like would stand against it is sitting in the room with them, and that's Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Maybe Nightcrawler would not be cool with it, and Storm?
No,
That's
I wouldn't say Storm. You might have better luck with Kate, but even then, I think that's
Oh, that's
debatable.
Yeah, that's true. But Nightcrawler for sure. And no, everybody else on that council, Apocalypse would probably think it's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like after Xavier got assassinated. This is like the mutant 9/11. I would expect them to be like overwhelmingly in favor of
Never forget.
going. Yeah.
I mean, even last issue they were talking about daily EMP blasts to make sure
Yeah.
there's no rogue tech on the island. And he's like, okay, we have to do the shadow thing that we're not going to tell.
Yeah, I don't know. They're very obviously trying to build a CIA here with no good justification as to why this is a distinct entity from the council that's being like hidden from.
I will say if I had to try and back this comic up, it's probably because this is a really bad look for the new nation. Sure, the people on the council might be able to think it through and figure something out, and even then they would probably disagree. But if you told all the other mutants that are coming onto the island, if you told Beak from New Mutants that, hey, we're putting together our own CIA to fight in the shadows, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people really against that and not for it, especially if that leaks out to the human world.
See, I feel like it wouldn't be like I feel like people wouldn't be super against it because again, it's I think kind of what Sergio said that this is like the mutant 9/11. Like if you just if Xavier got assassinated by a bunch of gunmen on the island and you said we're starting a black ops organization in response to that, I feel like most people would just be like, "Oh, okay."
And we have seen so little of the actual building of a culture that would reject this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like again, we go back to my disappointment with on the one hand going, this is a completely new culture, we're doing things differently, etc., and then we get like very direct reminders that this is all just based on like America and American culture, and we get like American university culture and stuff like that. So yeah, of course this place would have a CIA. There's absolutely nothing we've seen that doesn't point to this still being heavily inspired by just like Occidental culture and stuff on Earth.
Yeah.
So it's also very disappointing when Xavier goes, I was hoping we were beyond this. Like, what the hell were you expecting?
Like, no, you
what,
were...
what gave you that impression?
Yeah, like...
How could you not have planned for, like, there's obviously going to be like, geopolitics involved. You've done absolutely nothing to like modify the way this world works and how you interface with the rest of the countries. Of course, you're gonna need like a Black Ops arm because you're presenting yourself as a world superpower with like miracle drugs and super disruptive powered people. This is extremely naive and just bad because again the rest of the communication that we've gotten from Magneto and Xavier is there these like again chess masters playing 5 steps ahead of everyone, and then Xavier this just comes across to me as a lie. I was not expecting this was going to happen. Of course you were expecting this was going to happen. Yeah, this has been in your plans. You've been waiting for this excuse to build this secret organization so it can be your Black Ops arm that you can self-flagellate yourself with because it happened, because there's some supposed necessity for it. So yeah, it comes across as extremely hypocritical to me.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. It's just like, no, you knew this was going to build to this.
Honestly, even if it is hypocritical of them, I don't know if that's bad. at the very least with Xavier, because he's always been the naive idealist, even though Moira came in and supposedly broke him free of that to get him to do this. There's probably still a lot of that left in him. And for Magneto's point of view, I can see him being arrogant enough to think that, oh, they're never going to get close to being on the island. We'll catch them before they get there. For Xavier, I totally believe that he would think, oh, this isn't, we'll be fine.
See, I don't really believe that. Just like for everything that he's done at this point just feels very calculated and purposeful. Like I don't I feel like he was waiting for an excuse for this to be something he could do.
Yeah, that is my thought exactly. I don't think he's been presented as like naive or optimistic.
Yeah.
At any point during
He's saying
series.
He's being naive and optimistic. I don't buy that that's the case.
Okay, that's fair,
Yeah.
I think I'm still, back with 90s X-Men cartoon Xavier and everything, where, hey, we will be able to get along with Yeti eventually, as they keep stomping us into the dirt. So, but yeah, you know what? I can also see that the point of view for this is calculated, and he was just waiting for an excuse to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what's going to happen when you have Magneto as your like speechwriter. He's
yeah, that's
he's
true.
really the source of like communications for Krakoa.
Yeah, they probably need a better.
So we also get a speech about the Peacock Man going loud now that the X-Men or I guess X-Force have responded. It's a really cool scene transition here with the narration for the Peacock tattoo kind of going over Xavier's as it zooms in to Xavier and then zooms out and it's the man with the peacock tattoo. I do think that's really cool looking. I don't. The implication that Xavier and this guy are like two sides of the same coin, I think, is kind of silly.
Weirdly enough, I feel like it fits. They're both doing this shadow organization operation. They're, at least for the Peacock Man, that he sent the assassins there to kill Xavier. This feels, X-Force feels like it is being created to do the exact same thing, but to this guy. They're going for the same thing here.
Yeah, I guess what this is trying to get across is they're playing the same game rather than they're on the same footing in terms of like moral superiority.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels weird because this one is very much just kind of a rogue organization while X-Force is tied to a country. But I can get that reading of it. Anyway, they apparently they have a name. They're Zeno, and that's the end of the issue.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. We now have our, title for X-Force is now a proper group within the universe. And they seem to be going, at least for now, against Zeno, striking them from the shadows if what Xavier said is what's going to come to fruition.
Yep. We've got like, special ops sort of groups going at each other.
And, like we were talking about, murder no man is a law, one that I'm sure will be bended for their new CIA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't need a CIA to bend it.
True. They didn't, but this one gives them more plausible than Magneto said.
Sure. Yeah.
So do we want to go into Fallen Angels?
Before we do that, did you guys have any closing thoughts for X-Force, how you felt about it, where it landed?
No, I guess it's good to get closure on some of the like ongoing threats that we had gotten since issue 1, and now that we're going into this new mode of like counter espionage, I'm hoping to see more of that, I guess.
Yeah.
Hoping to see less of Kid Omega.
Yeah, it does feel like we are done with the introduction arc of X-Force.
Mm-hmm. And we're about to get into the proper pitch for the book. So I will say it was kind of disappointing that it was a lot of retreading of what the last 2 issues were about, just with some close, Sergio said. I do like that X-Force is here. This book has already kind of positioned itself as the quote-unquote darker take on what is happening with Krakoa, and that seems to be where it is still heading with this CIA operation now up and running. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this all plays out again, because it has been a long time since I've read.
Yeah, I think it's also funny how Xavier's death got resolved, like very straightforward. There was really no complication in the process. It just kind of went perfectly.
Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, no problems. Jean could do it. Great. If Xavier ever dies again, we have no problems. We are now effectively immortal.
We got like a side story of Jean and Beast working together for like the past 3 issues, but at no point was there anything other than just general concern for it not working. But no, it totally did.
Yeah, which kind of nice. I'll take it. I'm glad the resurrection is not already a problem that needs to be solved in this new sandbox.
Yeah.
All right, but forget all of that. We are going on to our favorite comic that we are reading, Fallen Angels number 3, Seppuku, also written by Brian Hill and released in December of 2019. We are opening up here with a monologue from Apoth about being a god created by man to become a god. Unfortunately, he is very lonely, which he thinks might be why he's always trying to drag Psylocke towards him.
Yeah. We get that whole speech, and it's like, get in line.
Yeah, he's thinks of her as a mother, it feels like.
Yep, and I'm sure we'll get an explanation as to why that is, because I'm fairly certain Psylocke's daughter is dead. Unless for some reason Apoth is Psylocke's daughter, but I will say I'm
sure it will be done very tactfully.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like this opening shot where it's God lives in the moment a gunshot ends a life, and then God lives in the moment of a first breath of a child being born. Yeah, not a fan of guns and kids being put on the same pedestal. No, thank you.
Yeah. I do really like this when we go on to our next page here. Cable says, "This won't take long," cocks a gun, rushes in, and immediately just gets like slapped by a tentacle.
I will say the comedic timing of that is probably my favorite thing of the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 90% of this issue is just the battle rages.
Yes. Pretty much that in the corner, and everything tries to happen. Again, with this, I always contrast it with that Marauders issue that we read, that we really, really liked the choreography of the fight scene. The choreography of this fight scene, at the very least, with Cable, where he jumps in and then gets swatted away, is very confusing. Because, he jumps in, gets swatted away, and I at first thought he just kind of landed on the ground somewhere. But we are going to learn later that no, he was knocked several miles away, which I did not get that impression.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, Cable's just gone now. And apparently X-23 took her eyes off the prize, and Psylocke picks this moment to tell her, "Don't do that."
Mm-hmm. As pretty much the ground around them is getting torn up. There's a bunch of rubble by this car that they're talking behind.
Yep. They're having a kind of mentoring moment about how she has to like give in to her hate or something.
Yeah, it's weird. I know this was kind of complained about when this first got released, but it's like this is X-23. I don't think she needs advice on how to kill people or battle robots.
Yeah, I was curious, since Sergio, you don't know X-23 like you. What was your take on this little mentor lesson that was going on here?
It's kind of paper thin. I don't really have anything to say.
Yeah.
We've already gotten some of that on the previous issue about her, about them like taking on this again, like mentor and alum figure. But yeah, it's very straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, having nothing to say is in itself something to say. Because, I would agree. This is very paper thin. It's, like Tim said, just give in to your hate and go fight. And she does, and it works well.
Yeah, She sort skewers that robot.
Yeah, so she beats the robot, opens up the hatch, goes in for the kill. Psylocke says, "Please don't kill this kid and the robot."
Uh-huh.
This kid seems very scared and does not want to die.
Yeah, we get the kid speaking in Portuguese.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of bothered by the like exoticism of the scene. I don't think it's framed really well.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. I get why they did it because again, that's why they're doing it. But it is framed as like, hey, can you tell this kid in Portuguese what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This isn't great. I really don't have much to say about this. I feel like a lot of this is pretty thin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's just very little substance in Fallen Angels in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some kids are in trouble. They're being instrumentalized by this mechanic god that doesn't stand for anything other than a comic supervillain. So there's really not a lot to say. There's some commentary on drugs, but it's like fictional drugs that are super bad, and there is like nothing subtle about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's really not much to say. There's just some bad guys harming kids, and we have to get them.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta not have them harm kids.
Yeah.
Then we get a scene transition to Cable, who is miles away, and I got to this page and had to go back to see if I missed something.
Same. I had to do the exact same thing because I'm like, wait a second, what do you mean miles away? It's not good.
He got hit by a whirlwind.
Yeah,
I guess. I did not get the impression that it was that bad of a hit that he took. But okay.
Miles. He flew miles.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
is okay.
He got like Team Rocket.
Yeah. So
He really did.
Thrown.
Cable is blasting off again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But in this moment, as he comes to, a mysterious figure is basically telling him that their future is together. And before before Cable is able to really do much, he is hypnotized by this individual. Something hits the back of his neck, and he is going to become one with the One Mind.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I guess that's happening.
Yep, and that yawn should tell you everything.
It's definitely not that we're recording
really
super late. Anyway, we get a data page, experts from the Scrolls of the Exile. This seems like a lot of paragraphs of someone very pretentiously saying that comfort is bad.
Yeah, and funny thing about this, because I was reading Fallen Angels when it first came out because the excitement of all the new X-Men stuff, all of that, and I stopped reading Fallen Angels, but I didn't remember where it was until we were reading this. I went to this page, I put my tablet down, and I was like, oh my god, this is where I stopped. I remember.
Oh, you got to this data page and you're like, no more?
Yes, because it is not one data page, it is 2 data pages of paragraphs of what Tim said. It breaks down into comfort is bad, reforge who you are, make yourself who you want, but don't be comfy. It's not good.
Go lay in the snow naked.
It'll forge you into a better person.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Lay your body on stone so you can love the embrace of hay.
Yes. Yes, and these are real lines.
Yeah.
Author unknown. I wonder who wrote this. Talking about how the butterfly must forget the worm. But Sergio, this is your first taste of this. What do you think?
I didn't read this. I totally skipped over them. I just didn't care.
Hey, you know what? I should have done the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not planning to. You can't make me.
We will not make you. I'm not going to make you do that.
Yeah.
It's, oh my gosh, it's so much.
Congratulations. Or I'm sorry.
Or I'm sorry, but I'm not reading all that. But yeah, there's only so
Yep.
much we can say about that, but it's bad. It's not very good. It's the same thing we've been saying about Fallen Angels, where we can see what it's trying to do. It's not doing it very well.
Yeah, this is like again rethreading on the like Orientalism with the like this is what actual ninjas believe and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
Or
it's just
like
it's silly.
Yakuza assassins or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um.
They're extensions of their master. They're not people.
Mhm.
So I guess we're done with that now. And we go back to Psylocke having a vision, and doing psychic stuff, and she's saying Apoph's forces took the children, and we get some panels of a bunch of robot arms snatching babies, which is just
Really funny.
yeah, like
Yeah, because it's just these like stock babies, and yeah, they're grabbing them, and then the parents just get blown away and blown.
Uh-huh.
um
Then we learned a kid who was piloting the robot died
yeah,
in
Yeah,
between
in a
panels.
Yeah,
very not dramatic fashion. Which, by the way, in between this, we get a very confusing page of Laura cutting a blade of grass, trying to pick up a gun, and then crouching in the middle of a field that has been burned with an X. And I'll be honest, when I first read this, I thought that was Cable. I didn't think that was Laura. I was really confused as to who this was supposed to be crouching in the X.
yeah. So Laura wants
Yeah.
to go find Cable. Psylocke says no. We got to go get the kids. Cable wanted us to get the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's very funny how she argues for just leaving Cable behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cable can take care of himself. Let's go save the kids.
She really insists on it.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't. He's got it. It's okay. Cable does not seem to have it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And also another weird line from Laura where she says that it's always children because Apoth knows you've lost something and he's doing this to hurt you. This is all about you, Psylocke. Which I don't know what's ever given her that impression so far. I never would have gotten that impression if not for the opening monologue and this.
Yeah. I honestly don't even remember how she got involved in this. Oh, she got like a vision, and then that's when she went to contact Apocalypse to find a way out of the island, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
So I guess she was like personally contacted by Apoth to like for her to start pursuing it or him.
That's the implication, or we don't know who initially contacted her, but it feels like it's supposed to be Apoth.
Yeah, it's a really roundabout way of contacting her, like creating this new drug and then a network of kidnapped kids taking the drug or something for her to find him.
Yeah.
I'm not into this. I'm not super like engaged with this storyline. But yeah.
So then we see Cable. He's tied to what looks like a saw trap, and some
kind of like James Bond villain style.
yeah,
Mhm.
and he's being talked at too by some skeleton robot man.
Yeah, which, again, I'm fairly certain I stopped at that data page because I have no recollection of this Warhammer 40k looking guy because he looks sick.
Yeah,
Just a weird robot skeleton creature thing.
They just want unity, the end of everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. Again, very like super villain kind of speech. No substance whatsoever.
Yeah, these are comic book villains, like just through
Yes.
and through here.
Yeah. Like, why do you want unity in the form of everybody having nothing? Why do you want humanity to end, mutants to end, etc., etc.?
Something
Shrug?
God,
Something, electronic drugs.
Mother. All right.
Butterflies.
so-
We did it.
I'm sure it's about to turn around.
I'm sure. We are.
Just you wait for
Yeah.
issue 4.
Issue
Okay.
4. That's our turning point.
I do have really sad, heartbreaking news for both of you. We are halfway done with Fallen Angels. I know, it's really upsetting. We have 3 more issues left.
I believe in us. I think we can do it.
I think we can.
I don't know, man. I'm fading.
Anyway,
Look, we just have to keep these segments like 20 minutes long. They do not have to be this long. We're inflicting this on
This is
ourselves.
I
true.
know. I don't know why we keep doing this. Whenever we talk about fallen angels, it ends up being super long.
yeah.
Yeah, it didn't took us this like that long this time. We can do better.
We can do better. Next time I'm going to time us and be like, all right, we have to stop right here.
Yeah.
Um,
This is our promise to the listeners.
yeah,
Less
just
content.
less.
Less discussion, at least about fallen angel.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It won't be made up somewhere else. They'll just be less.
Yep.
No, I'm just kidding. Next episode's gonna have a 50-minute discussion about fallen angels. But
Woo! Can't wait.
yep. Anyway, that's probably a good stopping point.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing else to say about fallen angels. We covered it. There's not a lot of substance and not a lot of good.
Yeah, I generally felt like these were over kind of quickly. Fallen Angels in particular, because most of the issue was dedicated to like the fighting, and I don't even know where those pages went. Not because they were a thrill to read, but just because there was a little in them.
Yeah.
They fell into the void of the lack of background in every scene.
Yeah, I feel like New Mutants was the one that I enjoyed the most, possibly because like it was the premise of a new thing, and less, following up on what came before. I'm still curious about the previous storyline for New Mutants, but I was already told we're probably going to get back to that way later. So I think this is an okay replacement. I'm curious about where the story goes at the farm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then X-Force seemed like a very logical progression from where we were. Like I can see going from A to B. Those were the steps that needed to be taken. Nothing really surprising.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. New Mutants would be my favorite, just because it was more down to earth, slice of life kind of thing. I've already kind of gone over. We saw the drugs, how they worked. I actually would put X-Force higher than I initially thought, especially now that we've talked about it. I was kind of middling on it, but I don't know, just having to talk more about the philosophical side of what it is saying and not saying, I think is really fun. That's part of why I like it so much. I am, again, very interested to see where this CIA thing goes and how that plays out once again. And yeah, I can't believe we only read 2 comics this time. Weird.
Yep. So for our next episode, we'll be covering X-Men number 4, Marauders number 4, and Excalibur number 4.
Mm-hmm. And if you would like to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Twitter or on Tumblr at StudyOfX. We also have an email account if you have any questions, comments, jokes, or anything that you want to send us. It is studyofx@gmail.com, so go ahead and shoot us a question there. If you have gotten this far with us, thank you once again. And if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcasting app of your choice, that would be great. It would be really helpful for us. And going from there, Sergio, where can they find you?
Yeah, people can find me at Fireblend on Twitter or co-host.
And is there another podcast that they might be able to find you on?
Yeah, there is. They can look for Story Reads on their podcast platform of choice.
All right, and then if you are looking for me, you can find me at Soniques on Twitter. That is SAWNEEKS. And Tim, if the mutant CIA was trying to track you down for some reason, where should they not look?
And plugged into the back of Cable's head.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't think anyone would ever look there. All right, well, until next time. Later, mutants.
Bye.
Bye.